Okay, so charging more and doing less might make you feel a little bit uncomfortable, but hear me out and let me explain what I mean by this, okay? Charging more and doing less does not mean less for your clients, okay? So if you're anything like me, you probably would have come from a job. It's extremely rare where we find entrepreneurs who've always been an entrepreneur. I mean, they do exist, but they're extremely rare. Okay, so I'm guessing that it's likely that you would have come from a job background where you went in 9 to 5, maybe like me, sometimes 7 to 8, depending on how much soul, blood, sweat, and tears you gave to your boss. But you came from that environment where you were constantly doing, and there was always more work to do. It was never ending. You were probably fighting fires, continually trying to put it out. And part of the reason you became an entrepreneur is because you wanted to stop doing that. You wanted to take control of your life. You know, I talk about this a lot, that your why should be way bigger than you and you wanting your life to be, so say, easier, more flexible, freedom, all of those kinds of things. But I would be in denial if I wasn't to say that those weren't a part of it, right? They shouldn't be the reason for your business, but sometimes they are the motivational catalyst to you starting your business. Okay, so let's just taking that into account. You wanted more flexibility. You wanted to be able to take holidays, take breaks, look after the kids, fit work around whatever else it is that you wanted to do in your life, right? Okay, that shouldn't be the only reason, but it was certainly a contributing factor. But what happens is, because we are in the habit of being in that job mentality, we jump out of the job and we jump into a business and we create another job. Except the only difference is that we technically don't have a boss, but we do, the one that sits up here. That belief that says you need to work, you need to be doing all of the time, and if you're not doing all of the time, if you're not serving, then you are not in a business. And we've also had a ceiling of a particular salary that we've been earning. Okay, and I know a lot of people struggle in the beginning to perhaps even make that salary, but you'll see a lot of people make that salary and only ever make that salary because it's the ceiling that we've been living under. And just because practically that ceiling has been removed, we still live to it in our heads. It's a glass ceiling, that it's an invisible ceiling that lives, and we have to be able to break through that, and we have to start to think about things in a different way. We have to start creating new belief systems in order to, become bigger, to earn more, to push past those invisible limits that we've set for ourselves, so we can tell that boss that's in our head to shut the hell up, because they are false belief systems. If you look at other countries, they've brought in things like the 4-day week or the 3-day week, or they finish work a lot earlier than we do, say, in the UK or the US. And that's because they know that shorter deadlines mean you'll get more done. And actually, when you leave work, you can then go and enjoy your life more. Okay, it's been scientifically proven. But there are the UK and the US, two of the most economically sturdy, even though there's been some problems, right? And there's probably problems looming. But we are developed countries, but yet we're still not on that same wavelength. We're still way behind, and we're still living in those belief systems that we need to work all the time. And if it's not a struggle, then it's not, we're not working. And if we're not working, we're not pulling our weight, and therefore we don't deserve to earn. Therefore we don't deserve to make the money that we want to make. And it's just not true. Okay, and so I just want you to remember that part of the reason that you chose to become an entrepreneur was because you wanted flexibility, because you wanted to take breaks when you wanted to take breaks. Okay, that was, whatever you say, that will have been part of it. Okay, I challenge anyone who was in a job before who didn't go, I cannot wait till I become my own boss and I can do what the hell I want to do. Okay, secretly you would have said that at some point in your head, like, I can't wait for this to happen. But the problem is, when we create this other job for ourselves in our own business, we're just doing, because we're in this mindset of just doing all of the time, even though we've said that we wouldn't do that, we still do, because we feel guilty. We're like, we need to earn money, so therefore I need to be doing all of the time. But what happens is we put ourselves in a position where we are running around like a headless chicken, trying to do, but we're never growing. And this is the thing. I need you to reframe this, is that stopping and having those breaks, taking that time out, is vitally important for your business. Because if you don't, you won't ever have clarity, you won't ever have new ideas, you won't ever have innovation. Because without innovation, without new ideas, without inspiration, without rest, you won't have a business. Okay, entrepreneurship requires those things. It requires you to have energy. It requires you to have innovation. It requires you to be in a space where you can inspire others, particularly as an expert, as a coach, as a consultant. We have to be that person that helps to drive other people forward. And unless we have those things, and unless we allow the space for those things to happen, they never will. So we have to do less. We have to give ourselves space. Okay. So beyond that space, what I see people doing, particularly coaches, is people starting out charging very low amounts per person and running group programs. Okay. And what happens is, when we first start out, we don't have a very large audience. We have a very small audience, perhaps even no audience. And yet we're trying to fill a lot of spaces in a group program when we don't have that many people. Like, that, it just logically, it doesn't make sense. Okay, when you think about it that way. And don't get me wrong, I'm not sitting my ivory tower here. When I first started, I started out running a group program without any audience. And I think I got my first group program, I think I had two people. Okay. And I think I was charging about $1,500 at the time. Okay, so it was relatively high ticket. And so I got two people, which was amazing. So that's $3,000. That's not to be sniffed at in the slightest. But do you know how much stress I was under at that time trying to fill? I said I wanted 5 people and I got 2. And when I had when I was going out there, and you start out all confident and you get your first person into the group program, then you're like, hell, my God, shit, I need another person. In fact, I need another 2, because without another 2 is not a group. With 2 is not a group. 1 is not a group. I need to have more than one person in here. And you start freaking out. And you'll probably find, if you ever run a group program, you probably find yourself laughing, because I think everybody goes through this fear of, oh my God, I need more people. And so I look back at the time. Do you know what? At the time, I felt like an utter failure. Okay, which was ridiculous. Looking back, $3,000 is nothing to be sniffed at. For a first attempt at a group program, and having more than one person, win, right? Okay, it's like, well done. This is amazing, especially for a higher ticket group program. But at the time, I'd set myself this bar that I needed all of these people, and the amount of energy that was expended, the amount of time and stress and tears of, I need to get these people on board. And I remember my coach at the time said to me, look, Jan, if you'd have had one person to target, if you'd had said, okay, I'm going to get one person on a one-to-one, you'd be celebrating right now the fact that you've got a client. But instead of celebrating, you're putting yourself down. And you're dragging yourself down, and you are putting yourself under all of this pressure to fill up this group program. And so what I'm saying to you is check out what you're doing. Look at your day. How much stress are you putting yourself under? Maybe it's time that actually you look at doing less and charging more. Thinking about the most high ticket, high transformational, high value offer that you could offer one person, that would help you hit your monetary goal, that would help you hit your client goals, so that you're not running around like a headless chicken all of the time, and like I said, $1,500 is nothing to be sniffed at, especially for a first group program. But I've seen people out there charging ridiculous, like we're talking like 20 quid, $20 per session, and it's just like, wow, okay, what are you doing to yourself? And another thing that I see people doing is charging for the hour. So if you're someone now going, well, I charge by the hour, that needs to stop right now, because people aren't paying for your time. And if they're paying for your time, they're constantly be looking like, how much value have I got out of this? Okay, it's been an hour now. Have I got my money's worth? Do I want to continue with this regime of my hourly sessions? Because am I getting what I needed out of it? And the likelihood is probably they're not, because it takes more than just one session, which is why you see people selling like blocks of time. But I'm going to ask you to take that one step further and actually start to sell a result. Okay, so it's not about how much time it takes, it's about the result that you have. And I run another training on how to price your services that you can go on and look at if you haven't already, which I suggest you do if pricing is something that you're struggling with. But stop selling time and start selling the result. How much is the result worth to them? How much is the return on investment worth to them? And how long does that take? How long does it realistically take? And stop trying to add so much time in, because it's not the time that counts, it's the result. As long as they can get the result, that's all they care about. They just want their problem solved. They just want to know that you're solving their problem and they're achieving the result that they want. How much is that worth to them? And how long does that take? Doesn't forget, like, oh, how long should a program be? It's how long will it take? That's how long your program will be. So instead of running around like a headless chicken, trying to fill loads of bums on seats at a very, very low ticket price, instead of creating an ebook and selling it for $20 and trying to find the people out there who want it, when you don't have a large audience yet, go focus in. Think about, who is my ideal client? What can I give them that would be the best value that I could ever offer them? And the benefits, not only to you, of streamlining your time, of focusing on just a few people instead of many people, and panicking all the time about not having the sales. You know that you've made a large sum of money already with just one person. And not just that your client is getting a ton of your attention. This is why you should be doing less, not just for you, so that you can spend more time thinking strategically about how you can grow your business. But it's also about thinking, okay, that client is going to have an amazing experience because I haven't got 1,000,001 other things going on my head. It's streamlined. I can focus on them and I can give them that high transformational experience that they truly want. And I urge you to start there. Start there first. Get those clients in that allows you to then go out and think about growing your audience. So it becomes big and you have a bigger pool of people and your sales can grow from there. But don't start cheap. Don't start many. Start the other way around. Start more expensive and start with one-to-one on fewer clients with the highest transformation that you can offer them, because that is how you are going to be able to do less and earn more. And that's how you're going to be able to grow your business. And it's something that a very painful lesson that I had to learn, because I love group stuff. But don't forget, there are many other ways to do your group things that don't involve you gaining clients. You might have a group, a Facebook group, with a community of people where you can run free live value training sessions for people to show them and demonstrate your expertise. Okay, and that way you can kind of fulfill that personal need to have that connection, because that's what it is to me. I love having that personal connection with people. I also run a monthly networking event where I get together people in the local area around South Wales to come together and and meet with them. There are other ways that you can connect with people other than running group programs. Okay, one-to-many model should happen when you have many. If you don't have many in your audience, then you may struggle to sell out your group programs. Okay, and doing it this way will be a lot less stress, and it will give you your time back. Because if you're not growing your business, you are not a business owner. You are in another job that you've created for yourself. Become a business owner, protect your time, and give time to thinking about ways in which you can start growing and scaling your business instead of just being on the hamster wheel of trying to fill loads of spaces all of the time for very little money. Because when you look at that, when you look at the time and effort spent and actually divide out per hour, if you're going to go down the job route, how much you're actually getting for the amount of time and energy that you're spending on selling those many spaces, and when you finally get everyone together, if you get people together, it's not much. And how are you ever going to grow your business? How are you ever going to run a profitable business doing and behaving in that way? So, big thing today, think about how you can be strategic on offering more to fewer clients and charging more to fewer clients, so you can start putting that time aside, not only for growing your business, but also, as I said at the beginning, allowing that space for innovation.